Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS. Fans, brews, and Broncos news.
What's going on, Broncos Country? It is Thursday night, and we have a Thursday night game coming up against the Raiders. You got Team Puffball, Team Bonzer here for your tailgate talk, brought to you by Bourbon, Broncos And NO B.S, live on YouTube and Facebook, and probably some other things that I'm not tracking because I'm getting old. But hey, thanks for joining us, guys. It is Tailgate Talk. We're here to drink a couple drinks and talk about this game that starts here. Kickoff is in approximately 1 hour, so post your comments for us as we get ready to play the Raiders on Thursday night. David, what is your, without ruining, if people haven't listened to the pregame podcast, which everybody should, go download, follow on your favorite streaming podcast listening spots. But what's your feelings coming into this game?
Well, and I think, Jared, it is okay to spoil a pregame podcast a little bit because, I mean, let's be real. If we didn't get them to listen to it before they came to the Tailgate Talk, they're probably not going to stop watching Tailgate Talk to go listen to the pregame. So it doesn't matter either way. Jerry, proud member of Team Puffball. Good to see you in the house tonight. Jared, I am feeling good about this game. It is one of those games where in past years I might have felt like, oh, this is a trap game. Oh, it feels dangerous to feel good about this game. But I have to say, I trust the Broncos to go out there and put their foot down a little bit early. Maybe they'll lose a little steam in the second half or something, but I expect them to impose their will on Vegas early and keep it that way.
Yeah, well, that would be the opposite of what the par for the course has been so far this season, which is start slow and finish strong. So, yeah, I hate short weeks, man. I really do. I don't like not having enough time to game plan, even regardless of who we're playing. I mean, look at the London game. Yeah. We're playing the Jets of all people, and we still struggled because of the flight, and then missed practice. Like we only had time to adjust and all that other stuff. And it was a Saturday or early game on Sunday. I don't like this short time to be able to prepare. Yes, Jared, I got the lucky one on. I haven't worn this one in a while, so I'm hoping it brings some luck for us. But yeah, where I don't like the short weeks, dude. I don't. I think it just doesn't give. I truly doesn't give either team time to prepare. But that's when it comes down to who's the strongest in the trenches. And I think that I guess that, like you said, I don't want to call this a trap game because I think we're just the stronger team.
Yeah, we've got a defense that is, I think, just too good to roll over to anybody, much less this Las Vegas Raiders team. And I think the offense is. I mean, the Raiders defense is allowing 26 points per game. I think the offense is going to be able to cook up something for them. And yeah, it's again, the whole concept of a trap game. We talk about it all the time, Jared. These are NFL players. They know every single week that the margin of victory is really, really close, no matter the record of the team you're playing on paper. However, this does set up advantageously for the Broncos, talking about the short week. Because, you're a playoff team from last year, so the reality of the schedule making is you're going to get a short week this year. It sucks, and we can talk about the merit of Thursday night games. It's definitely a worthwhile discussion. But if you're going to have one, at least you go into your division rival who is expected on a consensus basis to finish fourth in the division at this point in the season. Not only that, but the rival that everybody has pegged to win the division again automatically, because, to their credit, they've won it however many seasons in a row at this point, the Kansas City Chiefs. You get them coming off their bye week, but at least you get the mini bye. So you're going into that game that will, in theory, have a lot more to do with the way this division shakes out at the end of the season with a little bit of extra rest.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look forward to that, but it is the nice part about after this game. I don't want to look past this game just because I feel like people are, and a lot of people are trying to look towards that Kansas City game, and I'm just not worried. I don't know. something feels off a little rumbly in my tumbly. Maybe I need to take a Tums or something. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you. Biggest Broncos fan. You got your wings and Miller High Life on standby. Just got home. Appreciate you joining us. James, thank you so much. Let's go. Michael, as always, appreciate you. Jose, yes, absolutely. We are ready for this game. The biggest things on for this game specifically is with the short week to not prepare for, you kind of only have to prepare for two people, right? And that's one on the defense and one on the offense, and that's Brock Bowers on the offense, and then Max Crosby on the defense. You take care of those two, and I think this game's kind of a wrap. And we have enough athletes in different places to be able to make impacts.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, because those are the engines for both this offense and this defense. And if you do shut both of those down, there's not a lot of ancillary playmakers that are going to pop out on either side of the ball for this Raiders team. But it's easier said than done shutting these guys down. Brock Bowers just coming back from injury. Last week was his first fully healthy game in several weeks, and he burned the Jaguars secondary for 127 yards. And
3 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, 3 touchdowns, I believe. Yeah, I was just going to go with several touchdowns because I was like, is it 3? That sounds like a lot. Am I misremembering that? Anyway, no, it was a lot, though. He had an incredible week last week. And if this Broncos secondary wants to keep him from just running free and doing whatever they want, in that respect, they're going to have to devote resources. They're going to have to employ 𝐁𝐫𝐵ARON, who's been really, really good against tight ends. They're going to have to put Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw in coverage sometimes. God help them if they put Alex Singleton on that man in one-on-one coverage, Jared. Let's
Y'all Singleton
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Alex.
I haven't seen it. You're right.
Yeah, fair enough. At any rate, the Max Crosby of it all, we see Mercedes Lewis elevated to the active roster tonight, and that's another. I would be so thrilled to see. Like, I don't think we're going to see Mercedes Lewis block Max Crosby one-on-one, but I would love to see him just get a chip in there before he gets 𝐁𝐫𝐵𝐿 gets his hands on him a couple of times. Give me the legend is only going to grow, Jared, because you know what? He played 6 snaps last week and he wasn't a liability. That means
you're right.
Sky's the limit.
I mean, it gives hope for old guys like us, man. That's what right. It really does.
We are 5 years younger than Mercedes Lewis, and I am feeling it. I'm feeling it today.
Michael brings up a good point too. We can't forget about 𝐁𝐫𝐿, and I agree. I think that 𝐁𝐫𝐿 is a very capable running back, and if we let him break free, he will. He's going to break a couple tackles, but I think our defense, specifically the way that our defense flies to the ball, regardless of whether or not we think that we have the first hit or not, is going to play in our favor, specifically against 𝐁𝐫𝐿. He can break one. He kind of reminds me. You're going to laugh at me, David. He kind of reminds me of Javonte Williams in his rookie year. Right, like where he's going to be able to break the tackles, he's going to be able to fall forward for the extra couple of yards. And yes, absolutely. If he breaks one and it's all he has to do is break one, he's gone. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
but I don't see that happening. I don't see that being an issue here.
Yeah, absolutely. And 𝐁𝐫𝐿 is a talented guy, and there's a reason he went, I don't know, 7th overall or whatever the Raiders overall that the Raiders picked, but. On the other side of that coin is the fact that the Raiders' offensive line just is not very good, and they're not blocking up Ashton Jeanty to be a top 10 back in the league this year, which he is not right now. And so, yeah, I think the Broncos have faced more talented running backs this season and have certainly faced more capable running games than what the Raiders are putting on the field right now. So yeah, Jeanty is, I think maybe still has that star power in the making if he can get some capable people in front of him. But right now against this matchup, I don't want to say I'm willing to forget Jeanty, but I am willing to ignore the threat of Jeanty until I see it in action. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I think the thought process here for us is from a defensive coordinator position, I'm not expending extra resources like I am against guys like Brock Bowers to defend against 𝐁𝐫𝐿, right?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Is every time I mention Javonte, we're putting $5 in a jar? I wouldn't be surprised.
We could make it a thing.
It's a thing now. Thank you, Michael. You just added a thing to Orange Weekly where every time I mention Javonte, I'm not paying it though. No, I'm not putting the $5 in.
Okay, maybe Lalo. We could loop Lalo.
Yeah,
in.
Lalo or Kevin. We'll just get Kev Dan to put $5. Every time I mention Javonte's name, he has to put $5 and add $5 to the paycheck.
Already in the show. Wow, $10. It's adding up quick. Go on.
It is. Yeah, here Andrew's got a good point here. As fans, we're extremely confident going into this game. 6 in a row. Hopefully the team doesn't necessarily feel that way. Yeah, you don't want to be overconfident going into games like this, especially, anytime you have a division rival. Yeah. Anytime they're going to play hard, regardless of how good either team is.
On a short
they're going to play you hard.
Yeah,
and a primetime game, the nationally televised. Everyone's watching you. Go out there and prove to them why we're a 6-win game. We're 6 wins in a row. Let's win the 7th in a row and prove on the national stage. I saw something today, and this is just straight disrespect. I think it was posted in our chat, if I'm not mistaken. The Ravens have the exact same percentage, according to somebody on Twitter, to make the playoffs as we do. And they're sitting under 500.
Now, Jared, I understand why your first instinct is to go disrespect on that. I, for one, think that says a lot more about the state of the AFC North. I think that's more Steelers disrespect than it is Broncos disrespect.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, I'll agree with you there.
But, with Lamar Jackson back in there, that's the best quarterback playing in that division by a mile right now. For sure. So, I get it, but I also see where you're coming from. The thing that I think Broncos country needs to refocus on a little bit in that respect, Jared, is that we have a better than 90% chance to make the playoffs if we win this game. But even if we lose this game right now, we're sitting at a 75% chance to go to the dance. And so, it's such a cool time in Broncos country to be sitting here on November 6th and being like, man, the Broncos have a chance to take a stranglehold on one of these playoff spots, whether it be a division title, whether it be a wild card slot, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, absolutely. And we mentioned on the Tuesday night show, I think a big part of this is it's cool to be in a spot where we're looking for a first round bye or winning the AFC West, which we haven't done in 10 years. Right. So it's kind of nice to be sitting in a spot where we're like, oh my gosh, we have a chance to not only, or even a wild card home field, anything. Yeah. Right. AFC West, we win the AFC West, we get a wild card home field. Like, that's awesome. Like, let's take that.
That's right.
And now we just build on it. And 6 wins in a row definitely makes us feel super confident going into it. Real quick, Sean, I appreciate the reminder because I almost forgot. About 15 minutes before kickoff, we'll do our score predictions. So start getting them ready. If you get your score prediction right, come back in here, screenshot it, send it to us on any of our social media, and we'll get you a prize. I don't know what the prize is this year. Kevin always does those. But he'll send you something. He'll send you something cool. And also, as we're talking about our win streak, if we get this being our 10th year anniversary, this being our 10th year anniversary, we have once the Denver Broncos. It's over here.
No, it's not. It's over here.
It's
over here.
Oh,
anyway.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Anyway, so once we hit 10 wins on the season, you got me all off track. Once we hit 10 wins on the season, we will be giving away a Bo Nix number 10 jersey. Maybe a couple of them, I think. So I don't know the 3 of them. I don't know what the plan is for how we're going to give them away, but stay tuned. As soon as we hit that 10-win mark, we will let you guys know. We were very excited for this season. And make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button, hitting the follow, telling your friends and family about Bourbon Broncos and No BS as we go forward. All right. Yeah. Michael says, as we go back to the power rankings, my biggest pet peeve is obviously putting the Chiefs ranking higher than us. I haven't paid much attention to the power rankings since, even before Super Bowl 50, I feel like even then they were telling everybody that we were like garbage and we weren't going to go anywhere. Like, I stopped kind of paying attention to the power rankings as far as like NFL.com or ESPN. And also I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Power
rankings. Yeah. Power rankings are just for fans, and it's fine, guys. I understand you want to consume content. The NFL and people who write about the NFL need to give you content, and power rankings get a lot of clicks. So I get it. And the reason that power rankings exist is to make you annoyed so that you engage with whatever post that power rankings. It's not to say that this is, bad. It's just the way the industry is right now, guys. So what I would say about power rankings is, especially considering the Chiefs, I can see why NFL analysts who cover the league on a year-to-year basis look at Patrick Mahomes and look at this division and say, that's probably too much to ignore. Like, his talent right now and the competition and the fact that it looks like everything's coming together for the Chiefs right now, that's tough to ignore. Whatever, we'll rank them higher. At the end of the season, though, the power rankings don't decide playoff seeding. The record does. And as long as the Denver Broncos can continue to take care of business, and especially as long as they take care of business against the Kansas City Chiefs this year, I think we can disregard what the power rankings are saying and just go with what we see with our eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we have to put on the orange blue goggles, and David over here is, one of them now. So he can talk about how hard it is to write about sports and all the other things.
Wow.
Put on the orange and blue goggles with me, David. Come on.
Well,
be mad about something. We have nothing to be mad about. We're on a 6-game win streak. Let's be mad about something.
I guess down offensive consistency. That's what we can be mad about.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that a little bit, right? So I think that's the biggest frustration that a lot of people have, is that the Denver Broncos offense is just not consistent. The only time we were really consistent, and it was after the first drive, was the Dallas Cowboys game. And other than that, it seems like quarters go by where we're like the meme of the guy getting hit by the stick. Like, do something.
I know.
Like, we need you to do something. We can't wait till the fourth quarter to do something. So how do we fix that, and where does it start?
I mean, to be honest with you, Jared, the more I've gone through this weekend specific, the more I think that we start with, it's just got to land on Bo Nix getting better. And that's an oversimplification of things. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it. But Bo Nix right now is thriving on a diet of shorter passes and deeper passes. And everything in between is a little bit tougher for him right now. And we're seeing it come along. It's a slow process for him right now. And it is okay to say that, guys. I want to make sure that we talk about this. It is okay to say that Bo Nix needs to improve on a key area of the game if he wants to be a franchise starting quarterback going forward, without saying he's doomed. We can say that and say also that he is a second-year quarterback in a league where it is really, really difficult for a lot of second-year quarterbacks to work the intermediate part of the field, to work the middle of the field in the intermediate and deeper parts. That's the hardest area of the field to target. It's where defenses can make the things look hardest on you. And it's pretty natural for young quarterbacks to struggle. I understand that Bo Nix is 25, whatever. The pro game is different from the college game, Jared. We talk about this all the time. And to a certain extent, 61 college starts doesn't mean as much as people who use it as a throwaway stat would have you believe. And so that, to me, says Bo Nix just has to get more live game reps in the NFL if he's going to get good at this. And we are seeing it so consistently right now. We're seeing it through guys like Sam Darnold, guys like Baker Mayfield, guys who maybe had 2 or 3 stops before they landed with the team that finally figured out how to use them, and they finally figured out the league. The guys need multiple years in the league to match up the traits that they have with what NFL defenses are trying to do. And I think that, Bo Nix has some consistency issues right now. He's got a lot to work on. It's okay to say that, and at the same time say the Broncos are in a decent position right now, and we don't have to call it quits on a man's career a year and a half in.
Yeah, and let me put a point on that. The reason we can say both of those things are correct is because we've consistently seen Bo improve in areas that people have seen him not good at. And this brings me back to, I think it was the New Orleans game last year.
Yeah.
Right? Where he just was not setting his feet. He could not get the ball off. He was missing wide open guys. I think we may have lost that game. I don't remember.
Yeah, we won, but we won convincingly, but Bo Nix played bad.
Yeah, 2 weeks later, you see him setting his feet, stepping into the pocket. You see him improving almost immediately, which is something that you want to see, right? And that's why we can say he needs to improve, but also he's our future, right? He is the franchise. And that's okay. We can say both things. So there we are. And I think Corey brings up a good point here. Can we blame the play calling from Sean? Now, if you guys did listen to the Tuesday show, we went on about a 15 to 30 minute tirade about screenplays. And Spotty was very, very vocal about his love for the screenplay. And if he's ever back on, just mention that to him, and he will love you forever. He just loves the screen. But there is something to be said about the screenplay, right? We have been relatively successful with it. Are we calling it the wrong time? So probably. But we also have the most success in the screens of any other NFL team right now. So there's a statistic there where we're doing well. Now, is part of that because we had Marvin Mims in there, who, by the way, we can mention now is out, still in concussion protocol. And we talked about it on Tuesday's show. We talked about it in the pregame podcast. We kind of didn't know if he was going to play, and we didn't think he was. He was eligible to come back, but I think he just kind of slow rolling back. Don't force it back against the Raiders.
He progressed in the concussion protocol, just not far enough. And we talked a little bit about how many steps there are in the concussion protocol on Tuesday's show. And he got, I don't know, I think he probably got like 5 steps out of 7 through the process. So yeah, Marvin Mims probably looking good to come back against the Chiefs for sure. But yeah, will not be playing tonight. And about those screen calls, guys, you put a point on it, Jared, and I want to keep going with that a little bit. Yeah. The play calling in general is sometimes on a down-to-down basis a little bit more difficult than you want. But man, there's also just a lot of times where there are wide open receivers in this offense that aren't getting hit. And that's why we had to talk about Bo Nix and his down-to-down consistency earlier. I would say that of the offensive struggles that people are willing to attribute to the quarterback versus the head coach, I would say they probably need to attribute those struggles probably 70-30 to Bo Nix. And they are probably giving it a little bit more of a 50-50 split. And maybe that's, just my opinion as a fan, but I think that's probably a little bit off if you're giving the coach equal blame for the offense's struggles right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a little bit of a split. I mean, there are definitely calls where I'm like, Sean, what are you doing, man? Like, and that happens. But there's also times where I'm like, Bo, like the dude was open. Your second read was open. You skipped him. Like, and that's another part of when you're watching the game. You have to look at it too with the reads, right? And like, where his second reads are based on where his eyes are going. Your second read was there, or the time that he threw it a little bit late, right? The guy was open, he threw it late, and so there's little things there that he needs to. But again, second-year quarterback making progress, and we're on a 6-game win streak, so the defense is doing their thing, which I kind of want to switch over to, David, before we go on. So Sean and David, I appreciate you guys commenting. Sean and with the Orange Crush. So we had Orange Crush in 77. Yep. And then we had No Fly Zone, which I feel like was a little bit of a disrespect to Vaughn and DeMarcus Ware for the Super Bowl 50 team, but also they were cool with it. They didn't need the pressure. What would we call this defense?
I'm not ready to give him a name yet, Jared. I'll tell you why. Names are for historically good defenses. And this right now, this is a very good defense in the NFL in 2025. This is a top 5 defense in the NFL in 2025. That's good for this year. I feel like, and I haven't done a ton of digging into this, but I feel like just by the advanced metrics that I've seen, I haven't seen any advanced metrics to say this Denver Broncos defense is doing this at a historical rate. They were sacking the quarterback at a record rate, and that's dropped off a little bit, and that's okay. It's still a very effective defense overall, but I'm not ready to give them a name yet just because they're not doing anything at a pace that is like, wow, this is going to be in the record books.
Well, I'm going to ignore everything you said, and Sean says no-go zone. Our relationship. So no-go zone from Sean. If anybody else has anything, let us know. I do think that there's going to be something for the longevity of this defense. We could talk about Tua. We'll talk about Tua here in a couple seconds. 𝐿𝐴funga. 𝐿𝐴funga. Yep. Okay. Cool. We'll talk about him in a minute and just the impact he's had on this team as a whole. Being named captain was absolutely fantastic for him. But before we get to that, this is the kind of we started Orange Weekly 10 years ago. We started Orange Weekly 10 years. It's over. And so
it's over here.
And so with us starting 10 years ago, this is the reason we started Orange Weekly, is so that we can have fan engagement like this. So we need to help settle a debate between Tori and his son. Are we more worried about tonight's game against the Raiders, or are we more worried about the Chiefs going with the 10-day off, and then obviously the Chiefs having a bye week?
Well, if I had to pick, I'm still going with the Chiefs. Andy Reid's record after a bye week is real. And that's something to keep track of. It's also, we've talked about it a couple of times, but it's still true. The Chiefs have won this division how many years in a row? And so
we won Super Bowl 50. Yep.
Right. And so if you're the Denver Broncos and you want to be that team that you spent all the offseason thinking that you are, that's the test to pass. That's what you really, really have to get past. That's what you have to beat the Chiefs. You almost did it last year in Kansas City, and then you lost on that last second field goal. You got to let that go. You got to let that go, and you've got to play Patrick Mahomes. And this is why I really wanted the Chiefs to play their starters in the final week of the regular season last year, and they didn't. The Broncos need to get that taste out of their mouth. They need to get the confidence. They know inside that they can beat the Chiefs as they're constructed on the field right now. They just haven't had a result on the field to show that. And they need to get that. They need to get that under their belt. So it's really not even about the Raiders. Like that answer isn't to disrespect the Raiders. The Raiders got guys. Like Geno Smith last year was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You still got, as we talked about, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Ashton Genty. Tyler Lockett is a name that has been incredible in past seasons. I don't know what his play is like right now, but if there's ever a team that has an aging star that seems to go off against the Denver Broncos, it always seems to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah. So it's really no disrespect to the Raiders to say that, but the answer is the Chiefs for me, Corey.
Oh man, Corey. So I'm going to have your back on this one. I think I'm obviously with, recency. I hate short weeks. And I think that divisional games against rivals on short weeks are just tough. And so I'm a little worried about that. I think if we have time to prepare, it's going to be a slugfest on next Sunday. And so I'm not worried. I think either way. Now I think that this game tonight, I'm a little bit less I'm not drinking as much, right? I'm not as stressed as much as I probably should be than I will be against the Chiefs. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. But I got to say, this game tonight is, and I'm not going to say the T word, but it is just the short week, and both of us have short weeks, and it really comes down to which old coach can game plan better and which quarterback steps up when they need to step up, and that's the hard part about this. So I don't think we settled this for you, Corey. I think we're split down the middle, and so I'm sorry that we couldn't settle the debate between you. I don't know. Maybe we are leaning more towards your son.
Well, but this, I don't know. Night and day here says Raiders are desperate for a win right now. They're coming for us. Last week they had a record-setting field goal kicked against them, and that ended up ultimately being, I think, the margin of victory. It was, even though it wasn't like a game-winning field goal scenario that record was broken. I don't know. It's going to be, tough, short week, like you've been saying, division game, a team that comes in here desperate for a win. And I like this answer from Night and Day. I really do, even though everything I just said about the Chiefs, I think still stands. Let's beat the Raiders first and then start thinking about the Chiefs. I think that's a good policy.
Yep, absolutely. And I don't want to ignore you, Sean. I think this is a good comment. We'll talk about it on Tuesday's show. Join us on Tuesday night, because I think this is a very important thing to talk about for the upcoming game against the Chiefs, our defensive penalties. And we can talk about it now against the Raiders. How are we? I mean, there's been so many drives. I mean, how many drives have we watched that just got extended because of some sort of defense penalty, whether we agree with them or not? Because there's been a lot that I don't agree with. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
There's been a few that are you can't do that, man.
Right.
And so there's concerns. And I think last week, I don't know who was calling the game. It's probably Tony Romo or one of those guys. But whoever said it was we're the most penalized team in the league right now. We are the Raiders of the 90s. We are the most penalized team in the league. It's awful.
Yeah.
There's got to be something going on. We're allowing them to extend drives. As good as our defense is, a lot of that is of the yards that is against us is on penalties. So how do we stop that? Or do we not care? Because at this point, we're just trying to fly to the ball. And if we get a penalty, we get a penalty.
I don't know. It's, that's the thing, too. I feel like these penalties that we get, and they rack up, man. And some of them are dumb. Some of them are, but I feel like this team plays a lot of the game within the margins, and I think they try to take advantage of those margins as much as they can to succeed. So many of these penalties, like an offsides, come from a Jonathan Cooper or Nick Bonito who's trying to time up the snap count. And then they pull it off sometimes, and it's like an automatic sack when they pull that off. And so, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, maybe you just take the bad with the good on that. And, it's the same with these illegal man downfield penalties. It's, some of them are pretty egregious and dumb, but some of them are like, oh man, well, you had this really good screen call set up. If this player had hung back 1 yard and / sometimes in this scenario, the refs don't catch it or call it at all, and you just get away with it, that screen goes for 25 yards. And so maybe you just take the bad with the good on that again. I feel like so many of our penalties this year have been that. So I don't want to say that that's something they can't work on. It's something I hope they do improve on going through the season, because you're right. They always feel like they come at these knee-buckling times when a really great play just happened. But I don't know. Sometimes it feels like that's where the team is working right now. And at 7-2, you're still getting more good than bad, even on the end of that ratio that you're in.
Yeah, normally when you're hitting that ratio, you're not winning games. And the difference is we're winning games. And our deep, and I think a lot of it is because we have a high-flying, very fast, very physical defense.
Right.
Just everybody on the defense is very physical. So you get physical, and then flags start flying. And I think Night and Day brings it up here. Like, Talib got so many penalties back in the day, and a lot of that just came from he was covering the guy. And this is what everybody's concerned with Riley Moss. And I kind of want to bring this up. Everyone's concerned with Riley Moss is these penalties. And it's like, no, dude, the dude was blanketing Riley Moss, or Riley Moss was blanketing his receiver.
Yeah.
And because it's a back shoulder, I hate the back shoulder pass interference calls. I hate it to this day.
Hard.
And I'm an offensive guy, but I hate it because you could have the greatest coverage ever, and the quarterback just puts the ball in a certain spot, and there's no way you can get your head around. I don't blame Riley Moss for that.
Well, and then everybody says get your head around, and then he gets his head around on the Giants, and they call it for him anyway. So, you can do what you can do. And so, Jared, let me ask you, speaking of things that are not the offense or defense that kind of surround this team, what are you thinking about the special teams this week? We've got Marvin Mims sitting down again, Michael Bandy up to return punts once again. I feel for him on the muffed punt last week, because I feel like he really got caught in a no man's land situation, and it all happens really, really quickly for him. On the other hand, that's the life of an NFL punt returner, and you've got to make sure you know how to handle those decisions without turning the ball over deep in your own team's territory. How are you feeling about the special teams tonight? What are you thinking? Is there anything that you see specifically that needs to change, or is it just more of a, hey, everybody do your job better?
Yeah, I think it's everybody do your job better. I'm not even blaming Bandy for that. I mean, obviously everybody has to blame. He missed the catch, right? And so, but he got pulled up from the practice squad like the day before or 2 days before the game. He gets out there, and all of a sudden, he got a huge catch for a first down, I think.
He did.
Like literally the drive before, which was a huge third down play. I feel for the guy, and obviously I would not be surprised if the second they, that Monday practice or Tuesday practice, Bandy was out there catching 150 punt returns to make sure that he understands what his goal is. And the fact that we have faith in him to continue punt returning means that Sean Payton has faith in him to be able to do what he needs to do. Now, the kickoff returns, that's just tough, man. Like, people forget that special teams is actually a very tough time. It's not a big part of the game because it's not like a percentage-wise of a football game. You're not looking at it often. But it is a big part, and we've been on the receiving end of that on multiple occasions. The big run back from Marvin Mims on a couple times. You got Crawdaddy kicking it, corner kicking it a couple times. He's got this big boot switching the field, and a lot of people are like, okay, well, like, do better. And it's hard. It's hard when you're only on the field like 4 or 5 times. And then you got to make sure that you know one missed assignment on a kick return and you're done. You're cooked, right? One missed assignment. That's the difference between catching them on the 20 and catching them on the 40 or 50, or maybe not catching them at all. So everybody has to do their jobs. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Just be focused, make sure that you're not missing anything. Don't get too fancy. We don't need to get too fancy on the special teams. Just go out there and do your thing. And the one thing that we have is Will Lutz is absolutely solid. He's been solid for us all year. And so we just keep making sure that he stays solid. And I think the rest of it will fall in. I'm not worried. I think last week everybody was complaining about the blocked kick, the blocked field goal. I mean, the dude has whoever it was. He has the most blocked field goals in the NFL right now. Like he's doing this game in and game out. And like I said last week, I'd rather that happen early than a Chiefs repeat of last year, and it happens at the end of the game. But we didn't need it, so
right. Yeah. Now, Jared, this obviously the question on everybody's mind tonight. You are not going with the golf hat tonight. You have decided to go with the lucky visor, the salute to service. Go on.
Two things. One, for some reason, I thought this was salute to service week, and then I just looked it up. We're actually doing the throwbacks again.
Yes, that's right.
And the other one is I don't know where I put the. I don't know where I put the. I'll find it. David. I'll find it. Okay. Can you just give me like?
You had it, Jared. You had it.
I had it. I had it last week, and I wore it on the. Anyways, let's get back to. Oh, we're about at halftime. So you do the halftime thing, the spiel, and I'll look for the hat.
I need a moment to recover. So patter for me for just a second, and then I will do the halftime spiel.
I was pattering. Okay, all right. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate it, and hope you guys enjoy our banter. Joey, with coming in with the hot comments, we haven't been pulling them up, but I appreciate it. Yes, and I think earlier you were asking if this is grape juice. It is my normal Captain and Coke, except I switched to Coke Zero because you got to watch the metabolism nowadays. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking here. That Coke and Captain Morgan.
Joey, the Newport Lights only come out when I am 6 whiskeys deep, but you are right. If the Broncos lose tonight, they are going to be necessary. Now, Jared threw it over to me to give you the halftime spiel, and it is a pleasure. Guys, we do this for you. This is all for you. This is, we can sit around and talk football until we're all blue in the face. But the reason that we decide to share it with you guys is because you guys come and comment and talk to us. And we love engaging with you. You guys always bring the great questions, the great comments every single show. And we love you so much for it. And that's why we bring you so much content. And it starts, obviously, with the Tailgate Talk tonight. An hour before kickoff, we're always here for you. We will see you at the halftime show, too, guys, because it's Halftime Hash. And we are the original live halftime show in Broncos country. We came up with it first, guys. So everybody else you see is an imitator. Jared, Joey B has some kind words for your Captain and Coke choice. But back to the spiel, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Catch us. I think Kev Dan said they're doing the post game on Monday night, even though tonight is a Thursday night game. So 8 o'clock Mountain Time for the post game. We'll be back with you guys next week for Bourbon, Broncos and No BS at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That is a hat choice, Jared, that you are making right now. But you found it. You found it. We have the golf hat, ladies and gentlemen. Got to pause the spiel because we have the golf hat. Back to the spiel. Go listen to the pregame podcast. Give that a download, guys. You get our score predictions because we're going to ask for yours here in just a little bit. We've got content coming for you every single day on our YouTube page. Like, subscribe, all the things that help us with all the algorithms. And find us at Bourbon and BroncosandBourbon.com, guys. We are getting that website up and running. Functionality is still in construction. So if you see something that doesn't work, make sure you flag it to us, but know we are also working on it. And we want to bring more content to you that way as well. In short, we want to be the ultimate fan destination for every Broncos fan, because that's what we are ourselves, guys. We're Broncos fans, and we love having you every single week. We are getting some score predictions in now. We are going to be asking for that on a little bit more of an organized basis later. But Anthony says 27-13 Broncos. We've got Jose coming in with 38-13 Broncos. Jared, tossing it back to you. I think I remember your score prediction from the pregame podcast, but how are you feeling tonight? Do you feel confident in that, or are you ready to change your prediction?
Oh, I'm ready to change it, and I'm going to blame Spotty for my prediction, only because he brought it up. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-0 earlier in the season, and if we want to, this is his thought process for those that didn't listen to the pregame podcast, which you should, and go download and subscribe and hit the like button and rate us 5 stars. The thought process here is that if we're supposed to be competing with the Chiefs, if we're supposed to be the next ones to take over the AFC West, we need to do similar things that the Chiefs do, right? And so he was like, we need to beat them by more than 31-0. I'm going to change it because I slept on it and I'm not as drunk. And I think part of that is mostly the drunk thing. And so short weeks are hard. And I've said it probably 4 or 5 times now, but short weeks are hard. Divisional games are hard. I think that we're going to come off to a slow start. Bo's going to need to find his footing. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to find it right away. And if he does, is he going to be able to keep it? I also don't see us hitting 31, not to not run up the score, but, Sean Payton's much more of a, okay, get a comfortable lead and then just run the ball and try to take the timeout, right? We're very much a timing offense. I just don't see us going 31-0. And I think I said like 34-0 was my final score, but I do see them scoring at least once. I think I am going to change my score prediction. I don't think it's going to be close. I still don't think it's going to be close even with the short week. I think we have the athletes where we need to put them. And so I'm going to change it to 28-7.
Well, you kind of stole my thunder there because that was my score prediction. That was my score prediction during the pregame.
I know I heard it. I know I heard it somewhere. Yeah. I was just. Imitation is the best form of flattery, David.
I guess you're copying off my homework in high school. Still working at it, I guess. Anyway, I don't see any reason to move off of my prediction. I also think 28-7 is going to be the final score. I think the game script, Jared, is like you were describing. I think maybe it's a little bit of a slow start. The game is a little bit closer than Broncos fans want it to be for a little while. I think probably it's 21-7. Until like the final minutes of the fourth quarter when the Broncos add like a meaningless garbage time score to make it 28-7. But yeah, that's how I think it ends as well. I think the Broncos do take care of business, even though it may not look perfect from start to finish the way that fans want it to. To Broncos Country's credit here, nobody in the audience thinking a Raiders victory tonight. James may be the closest score here, or at the very least has the Raiders scoring the most at a 37-23 clip. James, clearly you bet the over tonight, and I love that for you. Joey's closest to us at 28-10. So yeah, lots of score predictions. Guys, keep those score predictions coming in. You will have a chance to win a prize if you nail that prediction right on. Make sure you take a screenshot if that happens of your score prediction before the game in the comment, but keep them coming, guys, if you have not put your score prediction in already. Night and day, give us anything. I love that. Broncos win is a good start, but you never know. Take a stab. You might be lucky. I know Ben Albright over at KOAA predicted the Broncos would lose 3-2 tonight because he's got a 2-week streak of picking against the Broncos, against both the Giants and the Cowboys, and then both weeks in a row, the Denver Broncos, against the Cowboys and then against the Texans, Either way, he picked against the Broncos in both scenarios. They won both weeks, so now he thinks it's his duty to continue picking against them to help Broncos Country get wins. Jared, it seems like you have something to say about that.
Yeah, 3-2 seems like a wild score.
I think it's to make sure. I think it's to leave no doubt in anybody's mind in Broncos Country that this is a facetious bit that he's doing, lest anybody now think that he's being serious. But anybody who listens to KOA on a regular basis also knows that Ben Albright is a bit of a wet blanket. So it's understandable if you would think that he's just down on the Broncos week in and week out. Jared, we are rolling into the final minutes of the show. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Thursday games, man. It's nice to just be able to have our game out of the way and just be able to enjoy Sunday without stressing. But that just means I have to stress tonight. The good news is I'm still on leave, so I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I can just kind of enjoy it. But yeah, this game is going to be close. I think the beginning of this is going to be a tough slog for a while. And you're right. There's going to be times where us as Broncos Country, we're going to be like, what are you doing? Please do something. Do something better. Why is this the way it is? And you'll see us back here. Maybe not both of us. David, are you going to be back at halftime? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't know, man. Let's find out.
Okay, well, I'll be back here at halftime. David may or may not be. And to talk about what we saw in the first half. And I'm ready for a night game, a nationally televised game. And I hope we don't for multiple reasons, but the biggest reason being, I hope in front of the national audience who's seen us go 7-2, we don't shit the bed. And so this is the first real nationally televised games that we've had. I think we had a night game earlier in the. Did we have a night game earlier in the season or no?
Against the Bengals the week after Joe Burrow got benched for for the year or whatever. Yeah,
that's right. So let's go out there. Let's show them that maybe don't make. It might be a 32-0. I don't know, but go out there and prove to them that we're in the running for one of the best teams in the league, and we're in the running for the playoffs. We're in the running for the Super Bowl, and prove it to the national audience. That's really what I want.
I love it. James says Dr. Drain gets a pick tonight. Guys, I predicted on the pregame podcast that Talanoa Hufanga finally converts one of those almost interceptions into a real INT against Geno Smith tonight. Keep those game predictions coming. There's no prize if you win or get them right, but at the very least, you can say you got it. What are you drinking, Jared? We've answered that question already. Jared is drinking some 𝐏𝐫𝐞 tonight, if I remember correctly. Now, what's this that you've got going now? Is it the same?
I just switched it to a different cup.
Different cup, same drink. Angelo says Bo goes for 300+ passing yards tonight. I believe that would be a first for him, even though he has had some good games this season. I believe 300. Yes. He has not broken that threshold this season yet. So Angelo, good one there. Michael says you have extra duty tomorrow for losing your beret, even though you found it now, but you do have to report to OOD after knockoff. Yes. And I think the punishment fits the crime, honestly.
Yeah. Well, luckily the OD works for me. So
that's it'll be a short report. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this. Jared is an E17. It's high. It's up there. No, that's not true. But he is incredibly good at his job. Not so good at Broncos predictions sometimes, but we'll see if his prognostications come true tonight. Jose says Denver Broncos 34-17. Jose, I believe you picked a score earlier. If your score is not the same as the one you picked earlier, and this is a PSA for everybody, if you guys try to pick your score twice, we know that. We can see your comments. The whole history is available, so we will go with the first score prediction that you said. But Bo Nix has 350 or 400 yards tonight. So another person who has confidence in Bo Nix to light up this Las Vegas secondary a little bit, Jared.
They got that DraftKings over on Bo Nix's yards. That's what's happening right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And whatever you guys are betting, DraftKings, FanDuel, any of the above tonight, good luck on any of your wagers. I have learned my lesson the hard way and keep my money away from my football because there are too many emotions involved. But best of luck to you all. Jared, final thoughts. Close out this podcast with your final thoughts before we head into the game and we see everybody again at the Tailgate Talk.
Let's take the Raiders down. Let's get our first divisional win game against the Raiders here on Thursday night. Prove to everybody that we're not just some jokes that come back against New York in the fourth quarter, that we are an actual legitimate team, ready for the playoffs, ready for bigger things that people were counting us out for so many years. It's finally a happy time to be a Broncos fan. I'm here for it. Let's go out there and prove it. We'll be back here at halftime. I'll be back here at halftime to talk about what you guys saw. So don't forget to tune in.
Yeah,
David, over to you.
Absolutely, guys. Join us at the Tailgate Talk. Yeah, all I have to say is, I can echo Jared by saying, just go out there and take care of your business. Don't make this, we'll probably have times we're frustrated tonight, but don't make this a game where we're sweating in the fourth quarter and have to rely on a comeback in the fourth quarter to close this game out. Take care of business against the team that's probably going to finish fourth in your division and start thinking about next week when you think about next week. It's a hard week. It's a short week. It's a division week. Put the excuses aside and go win the game. That's all.
All right. Well, with that being said, we are about 10 minutes away from kickoff. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Tailgate Talk here at Bourbon Broncos No BS. We loved your guys' comments. This is literally the reason why we did this, like the comments in the back and forth, the settling bets, and all the engagement with the fans. Really appreciate you guys. Join us back here at halftime, and we will talk more about what we saw in the first half and what we think the Broncos need to do to finish it out. And there's nothing left to say other than to end this with a very strong
Go Broncos. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, if it's right, and I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. 'Cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go.